Hey makeup friends, it is time for a Project Pan update. I have finished some items and some items I am just finished with. So let's get into this. As always, I want to start off by welcoming you back to my channel, or if you are new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and on my channel, we like to mix beauty, brains, and the occasional F-bomb. Now today is going to be an update on my Project Pan, but I am doing this in collaboration with K Bella Beauty here on YouTube. If you have not yet discovered Kelly, please go and visit her channel, send her some love and support. I promise you won't be disappointed. She is just such a breath of fresh air. She's so positive, she's so uplifting. I think you're really going to love her content, so please go and check her out. Now, before we get into the items, let's talk really quickly about what I'm wearing in terms of makeup. So on my eyes, I have the BFF palette from Adept Cosmetics, and then on my lips is one of the items from the Project Pan, so we will get to that momentarily. Now, like I said, I did have some items that I have finished completely. There's some items that I am just done with, and then there are some items that are going to roll over into the next set of 2 months towards more progress. So what I think we should do is talk about the items that I managed to finish up. There's only 2 of them. So this one here is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer in the Radiance version, and I did finish this up completely. Now, I recognize that I could cut this packaging and probably dig out, I would say at least 2 or 3 more uses, but I didn't want to, so I didn't. But at any rate, this one here is now done. Also finished is this setting powder here from Maybelline. This is the Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 10 Fair Light. Now, I had started and it was around here in January. You can see the different lines of progress on there, and now it is completely done. There is just a little bit of like a little tiny amount of powder still sticking onto the edges here, but I can't get this off, so I can't access that. So we're gonna just consider it to be 100% done. So with these 2, I would recommend this over this one. This is a little bit on the thicker side in terms of primers and really not my cup of tea. This powder I really have no complaints about whatsoever. It never really looked cakey on my skin. It did help to set my foundation down, and it also works well under the eyes. So I have no complaints about this. I have a multitude of other powders on the go right now, but this is one that I would consider repurchasing, and it's certainly a great option from the drugstore. Now, as I said, there are some items that I am just done with. One of them I actually no longer have because I gave it to my friend, and that is the Shade and Light palette from KVD, or Kat Von D at the time that it was released. I just found that I was not using it and I was not reaching for it, even though it was sat out right in front of where I sit down to do my makeup, and I figured it would be better suited to my friend Erin because she does a lot of like face transformations using makeup, and because it has a section that is cool toned, a section that's neutral, and a section that is warmer toned, I figured she'd get a little bit more use out of it for the creative kind of makeup that she does, and I really wasn't using it for the day-to-day kind of looks that I create, so I figured it would be better off in her hands and get more use with her than it did with me. So we ended up having dinner together a couple of weeks ago, and I took it with me at that point and gifted it to her then. Now there are some other items though that I am just calling it quits with. So one is this mascara here from Stellar. I'm not even entirely sure what it's actually called, and I will never be able to read that sticker, ever. As far as I know, it's the only mascara that they actually have, but I'm just not a huge fan of it. I am wearing it today, but I'm finding it's getting very dried out. I have been trying to use it, but let me tell you, that Bite Upswing mascara came in and was like, you're using me all the time. And I pretty much have been. But when I do use this, I'm just kind of left wanting more. It's just not, it's not fantastic. It's not bad, like it doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge, it doesn't irritate my eyes, but it just doesn't really do an awful lot. Like I said, I do have it on my eyes today. Before I do a close-up on that, I'm just going to show you what the wand looks like. It's those like rubberized kind of bristles. They're a little bit short and nubby on one side and a little bit longer on the other. And then with respect to how it actually looks, it does provide like fairly good separation of the lashes, but I just don't find that it really volumizes. It doesn't really add a bunch of curl to them. It just kind of is my lashes, but better, but only marginally so. At any rate, it's a disappointing product. It's not something that I would repurchase, and it certainly, if it wasn't in this project pan, I wouldn't be reaching for it at all. So I'm just going to cut my losses and I'm just going to declutter this one. Next up is this guy here from Huda Beauty. This is the Tan Tour Contour and Bronzer Cream in the shade Fair, which is the lightest shade that they offer. I did manage to hit pan on it. So I did kind of help myself along in this regard, because what I did is I used a brush called the Finger Brush from Urban Decay. It's a terrible name. Let me just grab it. Here's what it looks like. It's a terrible name, but kind of apt because it is kind of the size of a finger, and then it just allows for really precise placement, and that's why I used it. So I would just pick up a bit of product, sort of dot it where I wanted, and then go in with a larger brush and blend it out from there. But with this, I'm just finding it's trying to be two different things and it's not succeeding at either. So like the name suggests, it's trying to be a contour cream and a bronzer cream, but when you're bronzing, you want something that's warm and warming up the skin, and when you're contouring, you want something that's more cool toned to create shadows. Those kind of things are, frankly, they're mutually exclusive. So the fact that they've tried to put it together in one product is a little sus, to be honest. I don't quite know what the thought process was behind that. But at any rate, I just find that this is really dark on my skin. And it is the fair option. So I don't know how like truly fair people do with this, because I have a hard time pulling it off. I am wearing it today, but I did have to blend and blend and blend. And then I go in with my foundation brush and go over it again with whatever is left over from my foundation, just to dampen it down a little bit because it is so strong. So if you have a deeper skin tone, I think you might really like this kind of product, because it's definitely going to show up. If you recall, at the beginning of this project, I was using the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. That one I don't think is ever going to show up on deeper skin than what I have, at least not the version that I have of it. This one, I think there's more hope for, but for me, I just find that it requires so much effort and so much blending that I just don't enjoy using it. And I'm just going to call it quits. I have so many other bronzers, so many other products that I don't really want to spend the time to mess around with one that just consistently frustrates me. And then finally, and along those same kind of lines, there is the foundation that I've been working on. So this is the Luminous Silk Foundation from Giorgio Armani. I have it in the shade 4. I did make good progress on it. So you can see where I started off when I added it into this project and then where I'm at now. If you can see that little tiny dot here, that was sort of the goal that I was aiming towards, and I got really close to it. So I feel like I've given this foundation its fair shake. I've used almost half of it, and I just still don't like it. I find that I have to mix something else into it in order to make it wearable for me. But even at that, it's just a heavy foundation on the skin, and I don't enjoy the sensation of it. I am wearing it today. I did mix it with a serum, and that helps to thin it out a little bit. But even now, as I'm talking, I can still feel it on the skin. Like there's just a sensation like I'm almost like I'm wearing a mask. It's not quite that heavy, but I'm just aware of the foundation, and I just don't like that feeling. This is the kind of product that at the end of the workday, when I get home, I just want to wash my face. And so I'm just going to let it go. I know there's half of the bottle left. It was pricey. I mean, less pricey than the full size, so that's good. But I feel like I have really put this to the test. I have tried mixing it with other items. I have tried mixing it with different foundations. And regardless of what I add to it, it still just feels heavy on my skin. And it's just not a nice enough product for me to be willing to put in that amount of effort. When I wear it, I don't feel like it does anything amazing for my skin, and certainly the drawbacks outweigh any positives. So it is time to just declutter this because I have tried and tried with it. So that leaves 4 other items that I have made good progress on and that I'm going to continue working towards finishing up. So first up was a total random item. It was a candle Frankly, I think that this thing would be done if I could find the lighter in my room. I can't find it, so I have no idea. There are other lighters in my house, but they are on different floors of my house, and I just consistently forget to bring them down here. So here we are. But regardless, this was completely unlit when I added it in 2 months ago, and you can see that I have used up more than half of it. I will use it. Now that it's out and I'm talking about it, I'm just going to leave it sitting beside my phone so that I remember to carry it upstairs, and then it will be on a floor where there's a lighter. So that's going to help this situation. So there's that guy. Now there's also this concealer here from MAC. This is the 24-hour MAC Studio Fix 24-hour MAC Studio Fix 24-hour Smooth Wear Concealer. Slightly redundant name, but regardless, it's in shade NC20. And again, you can see the progress. So this was when I added it in, this was 2 months ago, and here's where we're at now. So it's almost time for me to take that little rubber stopper out of the top there so that I can access more of the product. But she's on her last legs. Now I have to say it is not my favorite concealer. Again, I'm wearing it today. I tried to wear as many of these products as possible just to have them on my face so you can kind of see them in action. It's okay, it just doesn't have as much coverage as I would like it to have, and it doesn't have as much longevity as I would like it to have, despite the fact that it's called 24-hour wear. So this is one that I don't foresee myself replacing or repurchasing, but it's still good enough that I am going to continue working on it and finish it up entirely. Next up is the Light Wand in the shade Spotlight from Charlotte Tilbury, and again, you can see the progress that I've made on there. So there is where it was when I added it 2 months ago, and we're all the way down here, which I'm actually kind of surprised about because I don't use it every day, but when I do use it, I actually really enjoy it. Again, I am wearing it today. I have it on over top of my foundation, but underneath my powder, so the powder does help to sort of tone it down a little bit, but this will produce a blinding highlight if you really want it to, and it is beautiful. This is the kind of shade that I really love. It's like that white gold champagne kind of color. I think it's a beautiful product. The only thing I'm not like super in love with is the application thing here, like this little sponge thing. I have to actively ignore it because it kind of gives me heebie-jeebies, but regardless, I can just dot it onto the skin and then I use another brush to just blend it out and put it into place. But this one I'm going to continue working on until it's completely done. Last but not least for the items that are in progress is the lipstick that I'm wearing today, and that is from MAC in the shade Cream Cup. This is the lipstick that will not end, but we're getting so close. There is just a little tiny nubbin of it left. Hopefully by the time we do the next update, it's going to be completely gone, but I will show you sort of the progress that we've made on this one. So if you can see, this is the line for the MAC lipstick, and it's getting shorter, but we've made some good progress in the last couple of months. It's a lipstick that I don't like wearing on its own. I do find that I have to wear a lip liner underneath it. I just don't like the color of it on my skin without something to help deepen it up a little bit. And the lip pencil that I'm wearing is an item that I'm going to be adding to this project. So this is one of the lip pencils from Wet n Wild. It's the gel lip liner in the shade Never Petal Down. And I've also measured out how much product is left on here as well, and that is this little line here. So for measuring that, what I did was just twisted it all the way up till it wouldn't go anymore, and then measured from the tip of the actual canister. I don't know what this is called. What is this called? I have no idea. Anyways, I've measured it from here to the very tip of the lip pencil. There it is. God, I hate that when like basic everyday words just escape you. Tube? What the hell is this thing called? Oh my goodness. I don't know. Anyways, regardless, I am adding that one into the project. I'm also adding some other items as well. So, keeping with the theme of cream bronzers, I'm going to add this one in from Tarte. This is the Breezy Cream Bronzer in the shade Seychelles. And if I could open it, that would be very helpful. There she is there. So let me just grab the Huda so you can see the difference in tone. So obviously this one's the Tarte and this is Huda. You can see the Tarte is a little bit more on the warm side and it is a little bit lighter in tone than the Huda Beauty one is. This one I prefer on my skin and I find it easier to work with than this, so I'm looking forward to switching it up and using this one instead. As you can see, there's really no dip going on in the pan, and that would sort of be my goal, is just to hit pan on this. Not to finish it completely, but just to get down to the very bottom and see what's underneath all that product. So that's sort of the goal that I'm working towards. Another item that I'm going to add in is a setting spray. This one is from Dior and it is the Perfect Fix Set, Refresh, and Hydrate. And I've just marked out the line of where it is right now. If you are Canadian and you are interested in purchasing this, please get it from Shoppers Drug Mart, even if you have to order it online. It is $36 at Shoppers Drug Mart and $52 at Sephora. Exact same thing, exact same size, wildly different price points. No explanation as to why. Anyways, there's really no rhyme or reason as to why I'm choosing this, but I have been finding that I've been bouncing between 3 different ones, and when I do that, I don't tend to make any progress on any of them, so I would rather just focus on one setting spray and then finish that and then move on to the next, so that's what I'm going to do with this one. Another item that I tend to bounce around to a bunch of different things for and really just reach for whatever's convenient as well is lip balm. And this one is damn near done. It is almost finished. I'm not sure. I mean, I can see right through the tube because the lighting is hitting it, but at any rate, I've written down as best I can where it is. There is still some product up along here as well, but there's very little left. I just want to focus on this one and finish it up. I think this is a really great daytime lip balm, and this is the kind of lip balm that I like to apply when I sit down to do my makeup so that when it comes time to put on lipstick, my lips are still hydrated and comfortable. It's not great for overnight though. This is a little too lightweight for what I like overnight. The Laneige Sleeping Lip Mask, much better, much greater longevity, but this one is really good for day-to-day, like during the day kind of wear. So this is one that I just need to sit literally beside the mirror that I look at when I do my makeup so that I remember and I can just easily reach it. Super convenient. There it is. All right, and then we're on to the last 2 items. So one of them is a different foundation. This one is the Serum Foundation from The Ordinary. It is a very lightweight, very liquidy kind of foundation, which I think is perfect for this time of year. I mean, despite the fact that I'm sitting here wearing a sweater in the middle of July, it is actually summer. It's just that it's like 13 degrees outside right now, and it has been for the last 3 days. I don't know what Mother Nature's doing. I don't think she knows what she's doing. But I'm hoping that at some point we're going to turn the ship around and enter summer, and this will be a really great foundation option for that because it's so lightweight. And yet, despite the fact that it's lightweight, it does offer good coverage. Certainly I would put it in that lighter to medium level coverage. It's not a full coverage foundation whatsoever, but I don't look for a full coverage foundation. I do have some in my drawer, but that's not what I tend to reach for on a day-to-day basis. This is much more my speed. I really do like the way that it wears over the course of the day, and it's just a really nice foundation to use, and it's going to be a nice, pleasant change for me from the amount of effort that this one requires. This one, I don't have to mix stuff in with it. It's just a really easy foundation to use. It is very, very near the top. I have used it several times, but a little goes a long way because it is so watery, and I don't really have any goal in mind in terms of where I want to get before I maybe switch this out. I'm just gonna focus on it, see where it takes me for the next 2 months, and then decide then what I want to do with it. And that's gonna bring us to our last item, which is basically what I kind of consider a gimme. I mean, the lip balm's a bit of a gimme too, but this one certainly is as well. This is the Luminizing Primer from Rare Beauty, and you can see it is right up here, so there's really not that much left. And I find it take about 2 pumps to cover my full face, so I don't anticipate that this one's going to be kicking around beyond the next check-in time. All right, and there we have it, guys. That is the progress on the items I've been working on for the last 2 months, and then what I'm going to be adding and focusing on for the next 2 months. Again, I just want to remind you, please go and check out K Bella Beauty. You're gonna love her, I promise. She is such a sweet, sweet soul. I'm so happy to be doing this in collaboration with her because frankly, I would have given up probably 4 months ago if I wasn't. So Kelly, thank you so much for keeping me accountable, and I look forward to seeing your progress as well. All right, I'm gonna wrap the video up here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.